Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Common English Decoded. I am so happy you are here with us today. Whether this is your very first time joining us, or you have been with us for a while, thank you so much for spending your English learning time with us.
Hey there, so great to be here with you all again. I was thinking about today's topic this morning while I was getting ready, and I actually caught myself using it without even thinking about it.
That is honestly the best sign that something is working, right? When you stop thinking about it and just use it. That is exactly what we want for you by the end of today's episode.
Today, we are talking about two of the most common and most confusing verbs in the English language. We are talking about make and do.
Oh yes, these two words. I remember when I was first learning about this difference, and someone explained it to me in a way that honestly did not help at all. And I think that happens to a lot of learners.
Exactly. Most native speakers cannot actually explain the rule, they just know it. They grew up hearing it, and it sounds right or wrong to them without knowing why. But we are going to break it all down for you today in a way that actually makes sense.
By the end of this episode, you are going to know when to use make and when to use do in everyday conversation. You will feel confident, not confused, the next time you need one of these verbs.
We have got a great question for you right now. Think about this. Do you make homework or do homework? Drop your answer in the comments below. We will talk about it later in the episode.
And hey, if you find this episode useful, and we really think you will, please give us a like and subscribe to Common English Decoded so you never miss an episode. We put out real, practical English lessons just like this one all the time.
All right, let's jump in. We are going to start with the core idea behind each word, and then we will build from there.
So let's talk about the big idea first. When do we use make and when do we use do? Here is the simple version. We generally use make when we are creating something or producing a result. Think of it this way. If something new exists after you do the action, that is probably make.
Right. So, for example, you make a sandwich. After you are done, there is a sandwich that did not exist before. You make a cake. You make a plan. You make a decision. Something new comes into existence.
And on the other side, we use do for activities, tasks, and processes, especially ones that are more general or ongoing. There is not always a new thing created at the end. You are just doing the activity itself.
Like, you do the dishes. You are not creating dishes. The dishes already exist. You are just performing the task of cleaning them. You do exercise. You do your homework. You do a favor for someone.
Now here is where it gets really interesting. Think about your own day. What tasks did you do this morning? And did you make anything? I made my bed. Wait, actually, that is an interesting one. I make my bed, even though the bed already exists. So the rule is not always perfect.
That is such a good point. And honestly, that is why this is tricky. There are some fixed expressions, things we just memorize, where the rule does not perfectly explain why it is make or do. But having the core idea helps you guess correctly most of the time.
Let's go through some clear examples of each. For make breakfast, make lunch, make dinner. Notice food is often make. Make a phone call. Make a mistake. Make progress. Make an effort.
And for do the laundry, do the shopping, do the cleaning. Notice that chores and tasks around the house are often do. Do business, do someone a favor, do your best, do research.
Here is a quick way to test yourself. Can you fill in the blank? I need to blank my homework tonight. Is it make or do?
It is do your homework. This is one of the most classic examples. Even though a finished homework assignment exists at the end, we call it doing homework because it is a task or activity. And this is probably the number one mistake we hear from English learners. So if you wrote do in the comments just now, great job. And if you wrote make, do not worry. That is exactly why you are here.
Now let's talk about something that is really important for sounding natural in English, and that is fixed expressions. These are phrases where make or do is just locked in. You have to memorize them because no rule will always save you.
This is actually really freeing once you accept it. Instead of trying to figure out the rule for every single case, you start building a library of expressions in your head. And the more you hear them, the more natural they sound.
Let's start with fixed make expressions. Make a difference. I really want to make a difference in my community. Make an impression. She made a great impression at her job interview. Make a noise. Please do not make so much noise. Make sense. Does this make sense to you?
Oh, make sense is such a big one. We use that all the time. Does this make sense? That does not make sense. I am trying to make sense of all of this. You will hear that in almost every English conversation.
Now for fixed do expressions. Do harm. We do not want to do any harm. Do good. He has done a lot of good in his life. Do time. This one is informal and it means to go to prison. Do wonders. This new medicine has done wonders for my energy levels.
Here is a tip for learning these. First, do not try to memorize a giant list all at once. Second, pick 3 or 4 expressions a week and use them in real sentences. Third, notice when native speakers use them in movies, podcasts, or conversations.
We also want to talk about formal versus informal usage. In more formal writing and speaking, you might say conduct research instead of do research, or produce results instead of make results. Wait, actually, make results is never correct. So it is always produce results or get results in formal contexts.
Good catch. This shows how even experienced English speakers have to think carefully sometimes. In everyday conversation, though, do and make are doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Here is a practice activity for you right now. Try to complete these sentences in the comments. Number 1. I need to blank a decision. Number 2. Can you blank me a favor? Number 3. She always blanks her best. Write your answers below and we will check them.
The answers, by the way, are make a decision, do me a favor, and does her best. How did you do? These are 3 incredibly common expressions that will come up again and again in natural English conversation.
Let's look at how make and do show up in 3 specific situations in everyday life: at home, at work, and in social conversations. Because the expressions that are most common are actually quite different depending on where you are.
At home, the most common do expressions are all about chores and responsibilities. Do the dishes, do the laundry, do the ironing, do the vacuuming, do the cooking. Actually, wait, that is an interesting one.
Right, you can actually say do the cooking or make dinner. They both work, but they mean slightly different things. Do the cooking is about the activity or task. Make dinner puts the focus on the thing you are producing, the meal itself.
That is such a subtle but real difference. And this is the kind of thing that native speakers feel but cannot always explain. You might hear a parent say, "Who is doing the cooking tonight?" or "Who is going to make dinner?" Both are perfectly natural.
At work, you will hear a lot of do with tasks. Do a presentation. Actually, wait, that is another interesting one. You can also say make a presentation.
Yes, both exist. Do a presentation treats it as a task you perform. Give a presentation is also very common. Make a presentation focuses on creating the slides or materials. Context usually makes it clear which one fits better.
In social situations, make comes up a lot. Make plans. Let's make plans for the weekend. Make a reservation. I made a reservation at a restaurant for 8 o'clock. Make friends. It can be hard to make friends as an adult.
And do in social situations. Do lunch is a very casual expression. Let's do lunch sometime. Do drinks. These are informal ways of saying, let's get together for that activity.
Let's do a quick mini practice. I'm going to describe a situation and you say whether it's make or do. Ready? You are cleaning the kitchen after dinner.
That is do. Do the dishes. Do the cleaning.
You are preparing food on the stove.
Make. Make a meal. Make pasta. Make soup.
You are finishing your assignment for school.
Do. Do your homework. Do an assignment. Great. Say those answers out loud at home, everyone. Saying them out loud helps so much more than just reading. The structure we have covered is do for tasks and activities, make for creating or producing things, and then a set of fixed expressions to build up over time.
Okay, let's talk about mistakes. And honestly, we want to start by saying, both of us have made mistakes with this too. These two words are genuinely difficult, and even advanced learners mix them up sometimes. So do not be too hard on yourself.
Mistake number 1, and this is the most common one, is saying make homework instead of do homework. We have already mentioned this one, but it is so frequent that it is worth repeating. Always say do your homework.
Why is this wrong? Because homework is a task or activity, not something you are creating from scratch. Even though you produce something at the end, like a finished essay, the activity itself is classified as something you do. English treats it as a process, not a creation.
Mistake number 2, saying do a mistake instead of make a mistake. This one is tricky because logically, making a mistake feels like an action you do. But in English, mistakes are always made. You make a mistake. You have made a mistake. She made a mistake.
Mistake number 3. Make exercise instead of do exercise. This comes up a lot. I make exercise every morning. This sounds unnatural to a native speaker. You always do exercise or do a workout. Exercise is an activity, not something you produce.
And mistake number 4 is more subtle, overusing make with work-related tasks. For example, saying I made my job instead of I did my job, or she made a lot of work instead of she did a lot of work. Tasks at work are almost always do.
Here is a funny way to remember the difference between make a mistake and do a mistake. When you make something, you can hold it or point to it, like a cake, a sandwich, a mistake. A mistake is almost like a physical thing that now exists in the world. You made it. You created it.
I love that. Practice time. Which is correct? She did a terrible mistake or she made a terrible mistake. Write it in the comments. The answer is she made a terrible mistake. And remember, it is completely normal and human to make mistakes, even when you are learning English.
Seriously, every single person in this journey makes mistakes. The goal is not to be perfect. It is to keep going keep practicing, and keep getting better. You are doing great just by being here.
Absolutely. And the more you practice these, the more natural they will start to feel. You will get to a point where make a mistake and do your homework just sound right, without thinking about why. That is the goal.
All right, it is time for our favorite part, the interactive practice. We are going to do a choose the correct sentence activity. For each situation, we will give you 2 options. Pick the one that sounds more natural and correct. Say your answer out loud. Do not just think it.
Situation 1. You want to talk about cooking breakfast. Option A. I made breakfast this morning. Option B. I did breakfast this morning. Which one is correct?
Option A. I made breakfast this morning. Breakfast is something you create. You produce the meal. So we use make here. I did breakfast sounds very unnatural.
Situation 2. You are talking about house chores. Option A. I make the laundry every Sunday. Option B. I do the laundry every Sunday. Which one?
Option B, definitely. I do the laundry every Sunday. Laundry is a task, a chore. You are not creating something. You are performing an activity. Chores almost always use do.
Situation 3. Talking about an error. Option A. Oh no, I made a mistake. Option B. Oh no, I did a mistake. Which one?
Option A. Oh no, I made a mistake. This is one of those fixed expressions. Mistakes are always made, never done. And by the way, try saying that out loud right now. I made a mistake. Practice the phrase so it feels automatic.
Situation 4. Your friend asks what you did last night. Option A. I made some research for my project. Option B. I did some research for my project. Which one sounds natural?
Option B. I did some research. Research is an activity, a process of finding information. You do research. You can also say, I conducted research in more formal contexts, but in everyday conversation, do research is the one to use.
Now here is your challenge. In the comments, write 2 of your own sentences, one using make and one using do, about your own life. Your morning routine, your job, your weekend plans, anything. There are no perfect answers here. The point is to practice using these words in real, personal sentences that mean something to you.
And remember, do not worry about being perfect. Focus on being real. Real communication beats perfect grammar every single time.
The key is to use the language. Make it yours. Every sentence you practice, even an imperfect one, brings you one step closer to natural English.
Wow, we covered so much today. I am genuinely impressed by how much ground we got through. Let's do a quick recap of everything you learned in this episode.
Number 1. The core difference. Use make when you are creating or producing something, and use do for activities, tasks, and processes. Number 2. Fixed expressions. Phrases like make a mistake, make a decision, do a favor, and do research just have to be learned and practiced. Number 3. Context matters. At home, at work, and in social settings, different expressions are more common, and building your vocabulary in each context will help enormously.
You should feel really good right now. This is not easy material. The fact that you stayed with us through the whole episode and practiced along the way, that is real effort. That is real progress. That is you making your English better, one episode at a time.
Here is a reflective question for you to think about or share in the comments. What is one thing from today that you want to start using in your daily life? Is it a specific phrase, Is it the core rule? Tell us. We love reading your comments.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. It really means a lot to us. Give us a like, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to Common English Decoded so you never miss an episode. We are here every week with practical, real English lessons just like this one.
You are doing amazing. Seriously. Learning a language is hard work, and the fact that you keep showing up, keep watching, keep practicing, that is what makes the difference. We are so proud of every single one of you. Thank you so much for being part of our Common English Decoded family. We will see you next time.